Hi, I'm Charles with Anycap. Previously, Mofan was somehow able to awaken two rare talents, but kept it a secret until he had to use them in a difficult duel. He was eventually forced to move to another city where he would shockingly awaken another two talents. He would then come up with a plan to lure out members of the Black Curia, but may have just put everyone in danger instead. The story continues as Mofan thinks about how his plan is going better than expected. The Black Curia don't know that he has awakened the Shadow talent and will probably think that his magic power has been suppressed. They will definitely come out of hiding to attack him, but also to capture the Shadow Beast since they think it has swallowed the Sacred Spring. Elsewhere, Fang discusses with another student their inability to use magic at the moment and how difficult the darkness will make it to find the Shadow Beast. However, she reveals that she managed to leave a magic seal on the beast earlier and that she will be able to track it down. Nearby, Song is upset that Mofan has purposely caused so much confusion and promises to make him pay. He notices a horrible stench to find that dark beasts have appeared. In the forest, Yuang has decided to deploy his subordinate named Li to find the Shadow Beast and get rid of Mofan. Backed by Fang, we see that his group has unintentionally provoked the dark beasts that were just trying to find the Shadow Beast. Their magic is too suppressed to be useful, but luckily for them, one member of the group has enough power to buy them some time to run away. They just happen to miss Mofan, who is nearby as he is encountered by a group of dark beasts. He takes care of them, and we see that the girl from Fang's group senses the power of a fire magic spell that is several times stronger than hers. They go back to find the dead beasts, and she explains that they had been killed by fire different than hers, a spirit fire. She wants to warn the other students about the appearance of the beasts, but they decide that it's more important to find the Shadow Beast so that the assessment can end. Later, Li nearly catches the Shadow Beast but is seen by some students that recognize him as a classmate. He asks to join him just as Mofan arrives. The guy is surprised to see that he can use shadow magic, and the girl refers to him as Devil when she tells him to stay away. Mofan reveals Li's bad intentions and the two begin to fight. Li catches him off guard when he uses ice magic and captures Mofan. However, he manages to summon his Archwolf and the two make quick work of their enemies. Afterwards, Mofan relies on his pendant to track down the Shadow Beast, but is interrupted by Song and his buddy who both want to teach him a lesson. Mofan warns them that this is not the time to be messing with him just as Fu arrives. Fu explains that he would like to team up with Song and his friend. He says that he is not interested in capturing the Shadow Beast and only wants what's in its stomach. Mofan says that only members of the Black Curia would be more interested in the spring water, which makes it clear that Fu is one of them. However, Fu claims that Mofan is just trying to break up their alliance and Song believes him. Song manages to trap Mofan, but he easily escapes into a nearby building. Fu says that they should just search for the Shadow Beast, since Mofan is a goner if he really went into that building. Inside, Mofan sees that he caged himself inside the Shadow Beast's taming cage and realizes that it must suppress shadow magic. Just then, Yuang emerges from the shadows to explain that he has already captured the Shadow Beast and will now make Mofan beg for his life. Mofan is shocked to see that Yuang was the one behind everything, but as usual, taunts him about his disfigured face. Yuang can't take it and summons a cursed beast. He explains that they are humans that have been turned into monsters and that the more they are tormented, the stronger they become. This was his first ever cursed beast. His second was Zhao Ting, and claims his third will be Mofan. He reveals that he has been with the Black Curia since he was 7, and to prove his loyalty, turned his own father into this cursed beast. Mid-fight, the deacon calls to tell him that he must retreat. Yuang says that they already have the Shadow Beast, and his men just need some more time to extract the Sacred Spring from its stomach. The deacon explains that he is being chased by someone, and gives Yuang 10 minutes to finish up. Mofan overhears the conversation though, and can't help but laugh as he thinks about how the Sacred Spring had actually been absorbed by his pendant long ago. Mofan makes use of his new shield for the first time just as he receives a call from Miss Tang. She explains that they have found the Blue Deacon and learned that he is in charge of the operation to retrieve the Sacred Spring. Members of the Justice Department are on their way to arrest him, but they need Mofan to buy them some time. He wonders why the Black Curia are so desperate to take the Sacred Spring, but must focus as the cursed beast proves to be a difficult opponent. His attacks hardly do any damage as the beast seems to be nearly as strong as a warrior level monster. Elsewhere, we see that a member of the Justice Department receives a signal revealing the Deacon's location. Back at the cage, Fu arrives to reveal that the Shadow Beast only had one drop of Sacred Spring inside his stomach. Yuang realizes that he has been fooled and now wants Mofan dead more than ever. As Mofan's pendant glows, Yuang realizes that the Sacred Spring is inside it and commands his beast to retrieve it. However, the Deacon reveals that he has run out of time and will just have to face the consequences for them failing the mission. Yuang wants to continue fighting though and is shocked to see that Mofan also has the shadow talent. It is explained to him that the Conqueror spell is disappearing, and we see that the students can see Mofan in the cage now that the maze has disappeared. Yuang takes his one drop of Sacred Spring and leaves his two subordinates to kill Mofan. Mofan uses his shadow spikes to finally defeat the cursed beast, and Fu realizes that it's best they attack now since he is exhausted. Mofan asks why they would want to be part of the Black Curia, but they just want to fight. Mu and Shia arrive to question what their classmates are doing, but Mofan explains that they are actually traitors. His opponents can't believe that their fire doesn't hurt him, and Mofan reveals that it's because his fire is spirit fire. He then unleashes a powerful attack that shakes the earth and ends the fight. Elsewhere, Yuang attempts to report to the Blue Deacon but is dejected when he gets no response. Back at the school, Miss Tang explains that the Deacon has been captured and they will now be able to uncover the Black Curia members hidden in the city. She thanks Mofan for his work, but he only wants to give credit to Zhao Ting. Miss Tang explains that although Yuang got away, he has failed the Black Curia and will have nowhere to hide. The students find their classmates burned in the cage and see that the devil Mofan must be the one at fault. Ting Ting arrives to heal him, but he explains that his wounds are cursed and cannot be healed. However, she says that she is not a beginner tier mage anymore, healing him and reminding Mofan of how he saved her before. Some of the students want Mofan to pay for killing their classmates, but are interrupted when the well-respected Nighthawk of the Justice Department arrives. He credits Mofan with defeating several Black Curia monsters and clears his name. Later, Shia can't stand how lazy Mofan has been since the assessment, but he explains that he is just recovering. She changes tone though, since she has become interested in the mysterious rumors that are always surrounding him, but he doesn't answer any of her questions. She then asks what talent he has actually awakened, since he seems to have used a few, and Mu can't help but wonder the same. However, again, Mofan doesn't answer and lets them just make their own assumptions. Later, Mofan thanks Lingling and Bao for protecting his family. He explains that the Black Curia had killed the Shadow Beast, but Song and his buddy turned in its corpse to win the award. Bao mentions that there are rumors going around that there was also a large-scale incident in the city Zenzaya lives in, but there isn't much information on it. Mofan then asks if anyone had approached Zenzaya at all, and must clarify that he is talking about the Black Curia, not boys at her school. Lingling reveals that she did notice that there had been someone protecting her from the shadows, and Mofan demands to know who it is. Lingling wonders if it might be someone from her biological family. Mofan's father and Zenzaya's mother had been a couple when the two of them were young, but one day her mother suddenly left without a word, leaving Zenzaya behind. He asks Lingling to not say anything to his sisters so she doesn't get upset. Later, Manyan explains to Mofan that the dean has signed them up to be exchange students at the Yandu Academy. He explains that it is actually a showdown that is done every year by the schools with the most powerful students. They meet with the dean, who explains that they were chosen because of their outstanding performance in recent conflicts, and offers an award for their compliance. It's mind-calming magic equipment that can even protect against spirit magic, like the one Che had used before. On his way to Yandu Academy, Mofan thinks about how he had asked the dean if the school had already known that the Black Curia wanted to capture him. The dean explains that the Black Curia has evaded the Justice Department for many years, and issues involving them are complicated. That is the reason the dean can never answer his question. The exchange students finally arrive at Yandu Academy and are informed that the sparring event will take place the very next day. It seems kind of soon, but it is explained that there is much to be done in a short amount of time. Inside, Mr. Liu finds some students training and reveals that the exchange students have arrived. They wonder if they will receive a reward for beating them, but another student arrives named Zhang He, who mocks them for thinking weaklings like themselves could defeat anyone. Mr. Liu would like to know where the trio's captain is, but they reveal that she won't need to be bothered with such a small matter. Later, Mofan makes use of his downtime by developing his summoning talent. He sees that his pendant is becoming agitated. When he takes a look inside, he finds the spirit essence of all the monsters Mofan had defeated, and his pendant had been collecting. He marvels at how amazing his pendant is, since it functions as both a development booster and a spirit vessel. Mofan realizes that he can make a lot of money if he is able to take them out, but is disappointed when the one he tries to take gets swallowed up. He meets with the professor to ask about what ghost artifacts are capable of, aside from collecting spirit essence. The information isn't easily found, but he explains that there is a rumor that there is a type of ghost artifact that is able to condense weak spirits into a more valuable, refined spirit. Mofan is thrilled to hear that, since low-level essence are already worth a lot, and can't imagine how much refined spirits are worth. The next day, everyone prepares for the sparring event, and the students of Yandu Academy do some taunting. Mr. Liu shows his bias when he agrees with them, but notices a student is missing. The professor notices it's Mofan and remembers the rest of their conversation. He would go on to explain that these days, soul essences are used to create magic items, but before that, mages would use them to level up one of their 7 stardust. He explains that it would be foolish to do now, since it takes an entire soul essence to level up just 1 stardust, and it would make far more sense to just sell it for millions of yuan. Leveling up stardust results in more powerful abilities, so Mofan begins to consider it. He finally arrives at the event and is ready to beat up the trash talkers. Mu explains that the event will be 2 rounds of 4 vs 4 combat. Technically there will be no winner or loser, but the stronger class will be evident. The first 2 groups are chosen and the battle begins. Song smartly disrupts their spellcasting but is cancelled out by the other earth user. The massive force produced by 2 wind users is clear when their attacks thrust everyone to the ground. Mingzu students remark how everyone is definitely going all out, but Mu points out that the Yondu students are stronger in terms of individual abilities, and the scoreboard agrees. Later, Ming explains that the combination of their next group is bad since they have 2 summoners, and he wants to replace Mofan. However, Zen decides that he would rather be replaced, and their instructor allows it. Ming wants to make it clear that he is the leader and doesn't want Mofan to ruin their chances of winning, but Mofan just points out how much of an arrogant fool he is. Mofan then jokingly asks that Mu protect him since he is useless without magic items, but she explains that he needs to fight seriously. Everyone knows that Mofan is a summoner and lightning user, but want to know how powerful his summoned beast is. He explains that it is quite a bit far from warrior level. They then ask about his contracted beast, and he reveals that he hasn't found a suitable one yet, which means his summoning talent isn't mid-tier. The others are disappointed to realize that this means they are at a disadvantage. Mr. Liu picks his next group as they hear someone ask to participate. Everyone is shocked to see that the person is their team leader, Ningsu. She is well known for having been born with a spirit grade ice element, and the students begin to think they will lose. Ting Ting is confident that Mofan's innate dual elements will give them a chance, but Song points out just how insanely strong Ningsu is. Mofan is surprised to see the girl he calls his old waifu, and Mu can't believe her immense presence. She points out how Ningsu's power emanates from her body, dropping the temperature around her constantly. Mofan says he will just subdue her with his good looks, but Mu asks that he stop joking since defeating her will take their combined strength. Ningsu covers the entire area with ice in an instant. Their instructor explains that it is realm magic, and that each element has its own version but only powerful mages can use it. The students notice that her ice realm is affecting all their abilities, just as Mofan saves them by absorbing a lightning attack. He counters with lightning of his own and demonstrates just how much more powerful his talent is. Their opponent summons his warrior level beast and their attempts to stop it fail. However, the girls work together and manage to buy Ming enough time to get away, only to be struck down. Mofan arrives with his wolf and tells the others to distract their beasts so that he can fight Ningsu one-on-one. However, Ningsu surprises everyone with an instant magic release, leaving Mofan no time to dodge and capturing him. Things are looking really bad, so the Mingzu instructor begins to surrender, but is stopped by the nervous-looking Manyan. He wants him to wait as he can sense the presence of a fire element, and an extremely powerful one at that. The Yondu students believe that it's already over though, and ask that they take it easy on the weakling Mofan. Mofan greets his old friend, but she sternly demands that he drop the act and reveal his true strength. Everyone is confused by that, and Ming points out that no matter how strong Mofan's lightning is, it won't have any effect on her ice. Just then, Mofan releases a burst of flames that instantly destroy the chains. His second burst is even more powerful and destroys part of the arena. Everyone becomes even more confused as they had thought that Mofan was just a summoner and lightning mage, but it's obvious to everyone now that he actually has 3 elements. Thank you for watching part 14. 10,000 likes and I'll know you want part 15.